3 minutes and 44 seconds? Level 237, kills Vellum, best attempt. Wait, how bad could this be? Does he have audio? Alright, make sure you use that gold pot. Guild skills. Okay, first he's gonna put down the Grip of Agony. Oh, hang on. He didn't Sharp Eyes yet. He didn't use his Sharp Eyes. Uh-oh. And only one of his toggles is on. He should have another toggle. He's gonna get instantly stunned in his bind. Oh, no, he starts with the wrong skill. And then he does the other one. Oh, no. And then he completely misses or hits this one. Ooh, no. And then he uses Sharp Eyes. And then he uses Speeding Shoot, Vicious Shot. Oh, no, and then he jumps into a rock, and he doesn't have buffers. Oh, how was this the best attempt? Oh, no. Oh, and he has skill visibility on, so he can't see what the fuck is going on. Oh, he's jumping all over the place. Just move a little bit to the right. No, just a little bit. Don't jump like that. Oh, this is like pure chaos. He's gonna get stunned again. He's gonna die to a tail. He goes the wrong way. Now he can't hit the boss because he's too far away. Oh. Don't just jump in like that. Oh my god. You have balls of steel, my dude. Okay. Yeah. Does he know that he has a dash to the side so he can dash out of the way? How do you... I can't watch this. This is like when I watch horror movies, dude. I can only watch them like this with my hands in front of my face, and then I look through my fingers. That's the only way I can... Oh, he's dead again. Iframe? No, don't jump. Just hold your iframe. You would have lived. You were able to move. Wait, why is it the alert not showing up? Because of how stupid... No, this is just lack of experience. This is... I think this is honestly, I think if you take the average level 237 in a game this day, it's someone who got hard carried their entire fucking life and who's probably worse at bossing than this guy. Probably. I think the average level 237 is worse than this guy. He went too far into the corner. Like, you don't know this. If you don't do the boss a bunch of times, you don't know that there's actually an off-screen red rock there. And that can actually kill you. Oh my god, he's debuffing the fucking tail. Yeah, skill transparency setup. Alright, so how can we help this guy? So first of all, skill transparency. Turn that way up. Skill visibility, way down. We don't want to see the skills, right? In the beginning, the first few runs, you want to be able to see the skills so you can see the hitboxes to see where you hit. The thing with, especially with Vellum, there's indicators on the ground for the tails. You can just not see them if there's a bunch of stuff covering them, and it's one-shots. You can't be covering one-shots. It's just, once you get really good at the boss fight and you're tanking things or just one-shot nuking this boss, you will be able to one-shot nuke this guy. But for Kain, it's all about the setup of the bursts. You're super burst heavy, and you do insane burst, but you have to do it in the right order. Otherwise, you just don't do any damage. So the main thing is, when you bind, you have 10 seconds that you want to do all your damage in. So you need to do the skills that do the most damage, and you need to make sure that every buff that lasts longer than 10 seconds is already popped at the moment that the buff goes off, so that during those 10 seconds, you're only hitting, not re-popping buffs, not repositioning, as little as that as possible. Full hitting. So right here, as soon as he pops up here. You can't hit him yet. The Sharp Eyes isn't on yet. That's critical rate and critical damage. That's very important. I believe he's missing a toggle as well, right? I think there's a toggle missing. And Vicious Shot is your biggest burst damage as Archer. And I believe his familiars aren't out either. So I think he's just pretty inexperienced and a little bit... and he said this is his best run, so he's probably already died a bunch of times to this boss. He's probably over-respecting the boss. But maybe he did practice mode and didn't have buff freezers left or something. If you're going in with guild skills, I would always get buff freezers because you can die to something very easily. Make sure you have at least like, even on my weeklies where I know I generally don't die at all, I always buy 2 or 3 buff freezers because it's worth more to me. My time is worth more that I can just continue and use my guild skills and not have to worry, not potentially get tilted, because getting tilted is the worst thing that could happen. That's the thing that makes you lose and die out. So yeah, get some buff freezers, skill transparency all the way up, or skill visibility all the way down, whatever you prefer. Make sure that your long buffs are popped before you're even thinking about bursting. And burst, it's more important, especially when you're this strong, that you burst at the right time with a good opportunity rather than as soon as you have it or as soon as it's available for lack of uptime. Yeah, so, and the toggle, right? So good preparation is half the work, as we say over here. So with those things extra, so right now you'd want to have those things set up. I would already put the Grip of Agony down and then stay near it, and then you know he's coming up. And as soon as he comes up, I would use my dash, which I didn't see him use here. I would use that Kain dash to go to the side because it's the instant repositioning that gets you far enough away out of the range of the get up damage. And since he's already in the Grip of Agony, then you bind. And as far as I know, the order is that you either... I would tap the big AoE with the dragon stuff, but not pop it for damage yet. As I understand it, you want to get stacks on him first, you know, the debuff stacks. You get them either with the big AoE by hitting him with a bunch of skills, or with the beam you can get him instantly. So you want to beam first, get him to max stacks down, remember after Vicious Shot, and then you want to use the, I don't even know the name of the skill, but like the purple skill that he uses first. And the other thing is opportunity, right? So here... already you're respecting him too much. Just dash to the side and you're okay. Because now, not only is there a bunch of stuff here, but also if you jump to the right, you don't know exactly where the rocks are here, so you could jump into something accidentally. And now you hit him with the bind right as he's going under. Sure, you hit him, but now you're going to spend the next 3 seconds bound yourself, and yeah, because you have not everything up, you're not going to be able to full hit. Now, this skill does the most damage, but only if you have max debuff stacks. And he doesn't have any yet. And basically, it's pretty impressive how much this skill still hits without, like it still does this much damage. But if you had the debuff stack on it, I believe it hits double or a little bit more than double. Fatal Blitz, yeah, it hits way harder. And you see the debuff stacks coming now, and that's coming from this beam here. So you see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. 15 is the cap. So if he... even during this time, if he did the beam first and then the Fatal Blitz, the bar wouldn't be here, but the bar would be like here or something. Because it's just so much damage. And then this does a lot of damage. I believe it still hits, but he gets pretty lucky because he instantly pops back up, and these hits actually connect. But there's a very good chance here that the buff stays down, the boss stays down a little bit longer, and that whole hit loses as well. You want to definitely keep that skill and use it when he comes up with like fireballs right away, or pop it at the end of the burst before, or use it as an iframe if you're not sure. But here now he's out 1 iframe. You still have a good iframe as a Kain, but since he doesn't have buff freezers, which I think he doesn't know, because you can see when he dies, he's like hovering his mouse around the reskill and seeing like, oh shit, I can't keep my buffs. And probably there gets a little bit of that tilt. Okay, now he notices. So now, even if now you notice that you didn't do Vicious Shot, don't use it here because you have a 90-second and a 180-minute burst. So but Vicious Shot is 2 minutes, so it's already desynced. So if you miss it on one burst, it's unfortunate, yeah, but at least keep it so you can make sure that you have it on the next burst. Because now not only did you not have it on this burst, now it's also going to be desynced for the next burst. So now it's like double desynced. So now you're trying to right or wrong, but in doing that, you're actually making a second mistake. But I think this is also kind of just like tilt response to, oh shit, I should have done more damage, or oh shit, that didn't go well. The other thing is blind approaches and respecting the boss's space. This is like over respecting the boss's space. You don't need to be this far away. By being this far away, it feels like you're safer because you have more time to respond and look at things that are coming, but you're actually less safe because you have to then bridge the gap and go towards the boss to do something. He still has the 15 debuff stacks, which is good because that makes him take more damage on everything. But now, like that approach here, again, he has to use that dash to the side more, I think, and really just you don't have to respect the distance of the boss that much, but you have to respect the rocks because they will destroy you. Okay, and you see now, that he lost everything. First thing you do is not when you respawn and your buffs are off, don't do this. Just kind of like go to a place where you can see what the boss is doing, and quietly but surely like reap off all your stuff. You see, he did keep some buffs though. Oh, he has auto buff on. Right. Okay, he can do this. Because either he clicked everything. Oh wow, he's actually. If I had done this in the same speed that he did, I wouldn't have had any of my buffs. But I think it's being auto buffed by pets, because he looks like he fucks like he has NX. And I can hear the lack of skill visibility or lack of visibility, and the amount of skill visibility. Here you want to stand here. You want to stand far enough away from the danger, but close enough so that you can keep hitting. So you could perfectly stand here. Again, here, this is a good spot. Just a little bit forward. Don't get hit by that unnecessarily, right? Don't put your skills at cooldown. Just stand there. And just use that dash movement more. And there into a rock. You can use iframe here. You don't have to jump, right? You can use iframe. Basically stay in place. It's a pretty short cooldown. There he uses the iframe. Probably fat-fingered, or he doesn't know it's an iframe, maybe. Maybe he thinks it's a buff. But that's your iframe that you can hold, so... Yeah, Thanatos ideally is like way in the beginning on the first, like you... But I don't know, can you do... Oh, this is so dangerous. Can you do Thanatos? Can you do Bind? Well, no, you would do Thanatos first to hit, right? And then Bind, then Beam, then Fatal Blitz, right? And then with the other... I don't even know. Did he use the other hyper skill? There's another hyper skill that adds a lot of damage. Oh, I don't think he used that one either. There's a hyper skill that... Oh, is it called Incarnation? Yeah, I don't think he has Incarnation on either. Right? I don't think he even has it on a button. Yeah, I think he's forgetting Incarnation as well. The hyper... Oh no, here it is. Oh, it's on cooldown. Oh, he used it... Huh? Oh, it's on cooldown here. And then he... Oh, he used it here somewhere. Okay. Oh, he's used it here. Okay. That's the other thing, right? If you're very burst heavy, you want to cluster all of your buffs as much as possible and get all your big hits when all of your buffs are on. It will just substantially increase your damage output with the exact same skills and stuff. Here, when you're in that situation, again, this is an iframe situation, 100%. You just want to press down the button for your iframe and hold it down. Because if you're going to be able to move, but again, this comes with experience and with the timing of the skills and how long the stuns are, etc. If you are locked in here with a tail right underneath you and you're like, this is potentially going to be close, just press and hold down your iframe, because if you get to move, or if you get unstunned right before you get hit, then the iframe will save you. And if you don't, then no harm, no foul. But if you jump out of the way, there's still a time, like there's just enough time here for him to do a half jump. If he had held the iframe here, it would have lived. It's a little bit hindsight 2020, but in the moment, that would have been a better response. Oh, maybe it's on auto buff. Maybe his hyper skill's on auto buff. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Unless your skill has 100% cover, you don't want to put it on auto buff. Although I think it was used delayed. I think he just used it when he saw that he had it available, or she, I don't know. But I guess with this picture, it seems like he... Oh, it can be auto-buffed. Okay, that makes sense. So here you're on, here's on one live. Again, like I would respawn and kind of go to the, just stay in the middle of the map, honestly, and kind of chill. This is probably the best thing to do, is just to stay dead as long as possible. Try to get your cooldowns to go down so you get closer to your big burst. But definitely don't have to feel like you have to like jump in and, you know, and go fight right now. See, like the first thing he does there, the first thing he presses is his iframe. I guess quote unquote like read the skills is good advice, but like you don't, I don't think he knows what the skill does. He just uses it because it's off cooldown here, but that's your iframe. You want to have that to not die. And during this skill, where he's taking a breath, he might very realistically die. So here, you never want to walk all the way into the corner. You might say, why not? There's nothing here. But you can see this effect. No, actually, you can't see that because I'm in front of it. Hang on, let me take myself out of the way. You can see this effect here. This is the left-hand side. That's the same effect as this, which is of a rock falling. There's actually a rock falling here just outside of the screen, but the hitbox of the stun is big enough to hit you in the screen. So as soon as this happens, you still get stunned and you still got dragged to the side, even though there was no visual indicator that that would happen. It's fucking stupid, but welcome to MapleStory. He's still alive here. He shouldn't hit you all to his side. You can just jump. Again, you don't have to run into corner. Here you can just jump attack, get a little bit of damage in. And remember, after every breath, there's always a tail pretty soon. And there it is. So now this is the time where you want to start prepping your skills. You definitely don't want to use, again, this is a very common mistake, and it's super normal. Don't feel bad. But you see damage numbers when you hit the tail, so you think like, I'm doing good. The tails do not take damage to the HP bar of Vellum. Like hitting them will help you build your personal stacks if you need to, will give you lifesteal if you need to, but the HP bar of the boss doesn't go down, and the stacks that you're building on the tail do not represent stacks on the boss, which you want to be building. And also right here, he could be popping up right now. You can't see. Now, we could see shimmer there, but now you have to interrupt this skill, and your iframe, you pressed it earlier, it's on cooldown, so there's nothing you can do here, and you're on your last life, and this is an instant kill. So, yeah, the boss is shitty and has a bunch of shitty stuff with it, but there's also a lot of prep that can go into it, go in with a better plan, learn from this. I think it's great that you're doing these bosses like this. I think that's really good. You're trying to do it, and from the looks of your damage and everything, I think you're also like over-geared in terms of at what stage of the game I would be doing this. So once you get a good plan, more practice, and just review your runs a few times and just try a few more times, I think you'll just be nuking it, probably not in one burst, but you'll be nuking it in 2 bursts probably. They have a dash, yeah. If you use it in the air, it's pretty far. If you use it on the ground, you can tap it again to stop, so you can control how far you go. You can also use it upwards and I don't think downwards though. And when you hit with the assassination skills, or whatever they're called, it resets as well, except for with the one skill that doesn't have a cooldown. And you can use that for your mobility a lot more. Oh, you can't dash downwards? Okay, I thought it wasn't. Isn't there one direction that it doesn't work in? Or is that a different character that has a dash? Oh, it does? Okay. If you flash jump, you just move to a different spike. Yes and no. There's the art of flash jumping. Depending on how high above the ground you flash jump, you land in different spots. And this is an important skill. I just did it automatically. I didn't really realize until I was trying to do hard will with my mom that I noticed that she had not developed this skill. That every single flash jump she did was always this. It was always at the highest point, the furthest possible distance. It was always like that. And that's why whenever it was like back-to-back test or test, no test, test, no test, like alternating, she would always be too late to get back to the beginning spot because she was always like over jumping to get back into the corner. But if I have to be like, oh, if I have to land on a portal, I can do this, and I land exactly on a portal. But if I do like the max jump, I jump way over it. And if I jump very late, I can also jump short of it, right? It's all about like knowing how far you want to jump and using your arrow keys to kind of alternate. Like if I jump and it's like, ooh, it's going to be a little bit over. Oh, I can use my left arrow key and quickly overcorrect, right? It's Pathfinder. Oh, the torrent for Pathfinder can go downwards. Gotcha. So there's also just an art of being able to gauge distance and how hard and at what timing you need to jump to be able to get into a spot that you want to get. That's why glide is so cool, because for glide you could just do this. And I feel like you have way more control that way. So, but that comes with practice. So I think it's great that you're doing these bosses and you're trying to do it on your own. I think so. Point 1, better preparation. Point 2, really read your skills and just do more practice runs. It's totally fine. Remember, if you do practice runs, it doesn't consume buff freezers. It'll allow you to use the buff freezer every time, but it won't consume it, so you don't spend a whole lot of money. And then once you feel more comfortable with the setup, and also if the setup doesn't feel right, another thing that you can do is also move your skills around, move into a place where it's more intuitive for you to know when to press it, and where maybe like a cluster of buffs, because you always use them together or something like that. But I would definitely put the skill visibility way lower. I think that alone would have saved you 2 lives. And the other thing is, don't blind approach. Like if you don't know exactly what you're going to be running into, don't just jump into it. And as part of that, reading your skills, knowing what your iframe is and knowing when or how to use it. In the beginning, you're going to have a lot of situations, or what I call oh shit moments, where you think like there's nothing I can do. Then you want to have your iframe. And as you get more experienced, you will set yourself up for fewer situations where you can get surprised like that. And as a result, you won't need to use your iframe as much. And that means that every single time there's an oh shit moment, you will always have your iframe. And at that moment, you don't really die to stuff anymore. So, good stuff. You said best attempt. I don't know if that's the best attempt of like 3 attempts or of like 20. But yeah, there's definitely the best part of this is that there's a lot of room for improvement without you having to upgrade anything. I don't know your stats at all. Your ID might be a little bit low. Sometimes for people in this stage, that's the case. And maybe fixing that is going to impact your damage output an insane amount as well. But even without that, you have more than enough damage. It's more about patience, timing, and just practice. So I believe you can definitely do it. Keep at it. Good work. Okay, don't let anyone get you down. Hopefully people in the comments are encouraging as well. Let's see. How to lose your guild skills in 1 minute or less. I panicked. Yeah, you could see that you panicked, but that's lack of experience. I mean, everyone panics when you're faced with a situation that you haven't faced before. The main thing is the more you die to these bosses, the more you know what kills you, and the more you know what you should be respecting and what you shouldn't be respecting, and that makes you panic less because you forget experience, right? You know how these things act. Getting as Kain, enjoying myself, this makes me want to cry. If you're open to some advice before Vellum is damageable, pop your buffs, Incarnation, Vicious Shot, Breath Notice, and A-Blink when Vellum can take damage, bind, and dodge his first tail. Place down Grip of Agony, then hit him with Dragon Burst and fail blitz immediately. The order is super important here, yeah. Depending on time left, you can either pop Thanatos right away or save it in a second appearance. It can usually one-cycle him this way. So you don't know his mechanics at all, also don't have a B-Link. That's fine, yeah. Need to get buff freezers. It's a bad habit of mine to click all of them. I wonder what that means, click all of them. Super painful to watch. A little bit, but it is painful to watch. But if that's the first thing you type, because this is, remember, I mean, people react very different. I don't know if you remember the DS player, right, who posted his run, and then a bunch of people were basically replying in the same way, and then he got super defensive. And then this guy is obviously actually more open to feedback and trying to understand. Popping XP potion and immediately lose it. My eyes, they're basically free though. Dude, why downvote him? They are basically free. Imagine not having 12,000 of them in your storage. Dude, you just need to do more Monster Park if these things aren't free for you. Don't downvote him. The boss is constantly at 15 stacks and you keep dying from getting stunned by the falling marks and you can easily avoid... Yeah, Shadow Step, yeah. Kain is an archer. You don't need to stand on the boss to deal damage except for execute skills, which are designed to refresh your dash, allowing you to get in and out fast. It's interesting. Get all the way to 237, 20k stat without understanding the class at all, but I highly recommend looking up some guides and bossing videos. I mean, I don't think that's interesting. Like I said, I think the vast majority of people just gets hard carried and just kind of like rolls their face on their keyboard for levels and gets a bunch of level up potions and has hyper burns left and right. I think a lot of people who have characters between like 235 and 250 don't know how their character works. Don't know the ins and outs. And you don't really need to either to that extent. So I wouldn't really hold it against people. So with that in mind, I think it's commendable that at least he's trying to do these bosses. And you can definitely see that there's a lot of damage there that can be tapped into. And you can very easily blow it all up. Yeah, I mean, people are touching on the same things. I don't see many people noticing that he's using the iframes wrong, so definitely emphasize that. Use it at the right time. Don't just pop it because it's available. Did about 40% of the boss in a scuff. I wouldn't say it was 40. Well, it was okay. I don't think it was. Was it 40%? Let's see. In specific, in general, I'd play without skill opacity all the way down. My God. Well, they don't, right? This is what happens. There's a reason that we play with skill visibility that low. Yeah, I did 32.5, just over 30%. Like, not even a third. So to say 40%. I don't know why you have to say 40% when the percentages are literally on the screen. You don't have to exaggerate. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. I'll clip it and upload it here. I'll give you an upvote, dude, because effort deserve A for effort, okay? Execution is a fucking D minus, or I don't know how the American grading system works. Just A, B, D, F, C. You guys have some weird shit over there, okay? 10 out of 10 for effort, and the execution is a solid 2.5 out of 10. So there's a lot of room for improvement.